Hello and welcome everyone. This is Essen Reza again from Century 21 Innovator Realty. Today I have my good friend Dima Babych on with me for this interview. Dima is a commercial real estate expert and works for Tenant Advisories. Dima, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Hassan. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you putting this together.
My pleasure. The reason why I brought Dima in today is to kind of shed some light on the commercial real estate side. I know a lot of times we discuss the residential, but we don't really touch a lot on the commercial side. So Dima is going to kind of talk to us about, the impact of COVID-19 on the commercial real estate market, a very high level, basic, general overview, and then I'll have some other questions for him as well. So the first question I have, Dima, for you is, you've been in the commercial game for some time now. What have you been seeing on the commercial side? How has this crisis impacted the commercial real estate in general?
Yeah, well, it's obviously been a huge event that's been unfolding over the past couple of weeks and especially months so far. Small businesses mostly affected, heaviest out of them all, but it's really impacted different groups in various ways that are kind of translating in a full circle, impacting both landlords and tenants, buyers and sellers at this time. But so far from what we've seen in the past weeks as they've been developing and social distancing has been in place, we've seen a lot of businesses obviously translate to working from home, which has opened their eyes to the potential of cutting down future operating costs by even having a lot of their workforce and teams working remotely as much as possible, and even right-sizing or downsizing their existing office spaces. So what we've been seeing as a result of that as of late is a lot of businesses and clients of ours reaching out to even put up some of their space as for a sublease, so making it available to the market once again. Otherwise, potentially bringing in another company to subsidize the cost of that and having a shared space environment. What the long-term effects of this are, it's still yet to be seen, but it seems as though a lot of companies are improvising with a work-from-home system and seeing how that could cut costs from a rent perspective for them. But one of the main points that seems to be a concern with some organizations is, as this is all new and still developing, it's still yet to see how much workflow as well as productivity is still going to be attained, as a lot of studies have come out, obviously, that a lot of individuals find a dedicated office space or workspace a lot more productive and focused for getting their tasks done. So what this is going to translate to actual long-term office environments is yet to be seen.
Okay. So just to follow up on that, I guess for landlords or commercial landlords who are owners of office buildings or office towers, do you see or foresee a situation where, I know you said that it's hard to kind of see what's going to happen, but what do you think about commercial towers or office spaces? Do you think that the demand for them will become lower as more and more people kind of adapt to working at home? And if businesses are figuring out ways to cut costs, especially in this environment, right, they're looking for ways to cut costs, do you see commercial landlords who own offices in trouble in the future?
That's a great question, and truly the future will only be able to tell us for certain, but just based on the way everything's been developing over the past weeks, it seems as though a lot of businesses are going to continue to downsize their operation, or maybe even have a complete work from home solution where they don't even have a dedicated office space and each individual is either working from a laptop and a phone set up at home. And we may see a lot more inventory coming back out into the market. I know it's been a very tight market, especially for downtown office. It's been one of the tightest in all of North America, being under 2% vacancy. And what we've been seeing lately is a lot more space coming up for sublease or even direct space available from landlords. So I think in the short distance, we'll see a lot of rent and net effective rates going down and landlords being more lenient on what they do deals at. But otherwise, it's been a landlord's market for quite some time, and it seems like with everything going on, this is going to be the time for the tables to turn a little bit, and landlords really having to work to fill up their buildings.
So I guess in the residential side, we have the buyer's market and seller's market. In commercial, I guess what you're saying is that you do see or can see a situation where it kind of favors the tenants now instead of the landlords. Like, do you see inventory really coming down or going up? Like, what's the what's happening there?
Yeah, there's been a huge influx of subleases coming to market in the past 10 days alone. And I expect that to continue for at least a couple of months for businesses to realize what they can potentially operate as. It's just truly, it may be a cycle where we see inventory come back on into the market, where tenants who truly do need to situate their office somewhere or relocate or renegotiate existing deals can now do so with more leverage on their side, because their tenancy is a much more rare commodity than it was 2 months ago, before we had such shutdowns and social distancing in place. So I think it'll help businesses when we restart and get back into, don't want to say business as usual, but back to the way things were. Whenever that is, tenants are going to have more forgiving terms to be able to negotiate from.
And do you see, or are you seeing right now, some landlords or owners starting to liquidate their assets for sale, or is that too early now to say that or tell that right now?
Yeah, I think it's still too soon for a lot of landlords to be listing their assets, just because on the buying side, there's really not that many people looking to take on assets, especially on a high risk where tenants may not be able to fulfill their rent payments unless a building or a tower is filled up by large organizations or really heavily backed industries that can cover rent. I don't see much of a buying prospect there unless landlords are looking to take a significant hit on their assets and just go for a quick sale. But I wouldn't expect any landlords to really be listing any assets right now unless they're in desperate times themselves. And that's just where we see it right now.
Got it. Thanks so much, Dima. I appreciate your insight on this topic. Like I said, we don't really hear much on the commercial side, so it's great to hear a fresh perspective on that. For anyone that needs services, what kind of services do you provide for clients and customers?
Yeah, so our office specializes in tenant representation for office and industrial leasing. So anything to do with potential relocations, existing term renewals, lease abstracts and reviews, everything that is regarding and is in the world of office or industrial tenancy. That's what we're there to help our clients with, whether it's relocating or reevaluating their existing situation to find out how to cut down potential costs and make sure they're stabilizing their own income.
Great, there you have it, guys. This is Dima from Tenant Advisories, and I'll be providing your information and contact in the post below. Feel free to reach out to Dima whenever you'd like for your services, and he'll be happy to help you guys out. Thanks a lot, Dima, for coming on. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Great. Thanks, Hassan. You as well. Take care.